Happy Sunday, everyone. CNY Central meteorologist Josh Kozlowski here. We've had some mixed weather for today. I know we started out the day with lots of sun out and it looked like it was going to be nice. And I was thinking about that last night, how this morning would be nice. But we call it sometimes in the world of meteorology, self-destruct sunshine, because the sunnier it was, the more instability happened in the atmosphere. The clouds bubbled up, the instability showers bubbled up, and some downpours. And we've had a couple of strong to severe storms in the area. Mostly, it seems to me, the hail threat first. Sometimes you can get the little ice pellets or ice to kind of form in the cloud and kind of go up and down, that falls down. Also, secondary 60-mile-per-hour damaging wind gusts, too. So we have a new severe thunderstorm warning here for northwestern sections and central sections of Oneida County. Let me give that information here, and we're going to zoom in on that warning right now. Elsewhere, there have been some reports of rain in the area and some thunder and lightning close to Syracuse, too. We'll get to the radar in just a moment. So first off, severe thunderstorm warning for central Oneida County until 5:45. So we do have about 40-ish minutes on that left to go. Potential there back at 4:54 for a severe thunderstorm. Located near Camden, moving east at 40 miles per hour. That's a semi-fast moving type of storm, not the fastest though. Main threat would be the damaging wind gusts up to 60 miles per hour in this area, and also potential for 1-inch diameter sized hail. That's roughly the size of a quarter. So if you have a quarter in your pocket or on the table, look at that. That's how big the ice could be for the hailstones, maybe with the system. There could also be impacted areas like the ones on the map here. I'll read some for you, see if I can include some new ones that are not on the map here. We have Rome, Lee, Vienna, Floyd, Camden, Oriskany, Sylvan Beach, Blossville, New London, and Delta Lake. So on this map right here, you can see there's other areas included: East Verona, Western, Glenmore, out towards Elpis and Jewel there, just north of Verona Beach, north of Agnes Corners, and north of Verona and Lowell as well. So this warning is in the same area I'm well aware that got hit by the tornado a few weeks back, but we're not talking about a tornado warning. It is a severe thunderstorm warning as of now, with just that main potential threat for some damaging winds, straight line damaging winds, and maybe some hail. All right, we do have the radar up for you now. And you can see I've also overlaid it with the visible satellite picture. So where you see the black color, the sun is out. The sun is shining ahead of this batch of rain and storms, helping to fuel some of them too. You can see the thunder and lightning here getting closer to Syracuse, and also the threat for maybe some hail with a pink color on the radar. When you ever see pinks, not just reds, but pinks, one color notch above red, that's usually where some hail is being reported, or the radar beam is hitting that, and it's the highest intensity type of return because it's hitting a solid surface area instead of a liquid surface area on, say, raindrops. All right, so let's first zoom into the Syracuse area, show you some of the rain going on here. I did put a storm track on this as well, and it's still pretty accurate. Only did about a minute ago. So this line of rain and storms coming through northern Oneida County right here, Baldwinsville, towards the airport, around about right now. North Syracuse, Clay, over towards Liverpool, also seeing the rain and heavy downpours, the rumbles of thunder, and maybe some flashes of lightning because it's still daylight out. You can still see some of that potentially. Elbridge, here's Camillus right below the corner of this pop-up indicator for the storm tracks. NBT Bank Stadium with the Mets game. I know they had a rain delay. I believe it got postponed because of rain. Still some rain coming through the area here. And also further down the list here, downtown Syracuse, 516, DeWitt, 523, Green Lake State Park at 528, Fayetteville at 530, Manlius 537, Rome at 543, Griffiths Air Base, at 546, and Vernon at 556. So that's what's going on here, northern Oneida County, and also out into sections of eastern and northeastern Oneida County. We're going to pan up into Oneida County here. Get a storm track on this batch of rainstorms too. You can see right below the Vienna marker right there, right as it comes in the view, the last few frames of pinks going on. I wouldn't be surprised that Vienna is going to have some hail reports later on today and tonight. And the hail could be a quarter, size of a quarter, maybe a little bit bigger than a quarter. And that's just because we've got such cold air up high, rising motion because of that instability, like bubbles of water on a pot on the stove. Warmest at the bottom and not as warm at the top. It just bubbles up, it bubbles up, bubbles up. But sometimes the air can be so cold off when the drops go up, they can form ice, and the updraft support it, comes down, an updraft, another layer of water becomes ice, and eventually just falls. And that's may be happening here with this storm, as we do have that darker red and pink around the Vienna area. Okay, so other locations: 519 in Lee, 527 Western, 533 Big Brook, 536 Forestport, 540 in Rome, 546 in Floyd, estimate time of arrival, and Trenton at 550 right now. So those are the expected time of arrival for these storms in this area. I would like to go back for a moment and just look at this and just look at purely the radar and show you the lightning going on as well. So the storms themselves do extend back to the south and west through the Auburn area, Brutus, Seneca Falls, heavy rain, thunder, and lightning going on. Also up into Oswego County, Hastings, still some rain going on there. If you're watching on your phone right now, which this ability for us to live stream when we're not in the news is a great tool to let you know what's coming before it arrives, so you can't say, oh, I'm so surprised. This rain and storms, they came out of nowhere. Our forecast nightly for today was to have some showers and a couple of downpours in the area. We've got a little extra boost. We have some lake enhancement going on too, and that cold air aloft is really potent, really strong with the heating of the day, the low levels of the atmosphere. So waves of energy coming through too, with an area of low pressure way up north into Canada. So you're watching us right now, say in we record our Manlius, Fayetteville, DeWitt, East Syracuse, Onondaga Nation, maybe down towards Lafayette, Tully, Pompey, Kaz, Atisco, Niles, Clintonville. Basically any area south and east of this line with the sun out, these storms, these downpours with thunder and lightning could certainly survive the trip through your area. And I would say in the next 15 to 20 minutes, an easy bet, this all kind of pivoting through. So basically between now and about 5:30, some rain and thunder coming through the Syracuse area. See the bolts here by Cicero, Baldwinsville, Brutus. They could hold themselves together for a little while longer there. So that's what's going on with the rain and the storms. I would like to show you briefly the temperature map and show you what's going on with that. We'll come back to the radar in a minute here. I do believe we spiked up to at least 76 in Syracuse earlier before the rain began. That was my forecast for today. We'll see what the official high shakes out later on this afternoon. But many spots have cooled off in the 60s because of the rain. Look at Fulton 64, Cortland 66, Ithaca 62, Rome at 69. But look at that, Hamilton and Syracuse. These are actually as of 5 p.m. So as the rain comes through, I'm sure they're cooler now, but they're in the low 70s as of 5 o'clock. So yeah, we're definitely cooling down because of rain, cloud cover compared to, say, recent days where we had some highs in the 80s. So definitely looking like a trend for cooler weather. And I'm going to give you a preview of the forecast here for, say, the next 24 hours here. Here's our evening forecast. If you have to be out anywhere this evening around 8 p.m., this is for Syracuse specifically, but Central New York, 66. Still some downpours, couple rumbles of thunder. Otherwise, variably cloudy in the sky. May be able to see that sunset a little bit there, maybe partial sunset. And by midnight, we're at 60. Overnight lows in the 50s here. 57, my forecast low for Syracuse. Last night, we're hanging out around 60, so a couple degrees cooler than that. Tomorrow, 67 at 10 a.m. The dark base clouds, some lake effect rain will be kind of setting up tonight, going almost pure lake effect. Lake enhancement for a while, but then over to lake effect by tomorrow morning on a west-northwest wind. So that brings it very close to Syracuse, at least Oswego County, Madison County, Oneida County, maybe northern Onondaga County for the start of your Monday. It's going to feel and look like fall. Probably does that way the rest of tonight and overnight too. Then tomorrow we might get some breaks of sun out. But again, there could be 1 or 2 little showers that kind of bubble up because the sun tries to come out, and then it creates more temperature difference in the atmosphere and bubbles up some more clouds. So we're only going a high of 73 tomorrow, which is almost about 10 degrees below average for this time of year. So let's go back over to the warnings again, just to reiterate. If you're just joining us here, we have about 265 people, 270 people watching on their phones tonight. And again, we do appreciate this because I just want to make sure that when there are warnings, especially when they're getting closer to a populated area like the city of Rome, and I know you guys have already had unfortunate damage from storms this summer, just want to pass along the information available as best we can, even before the news at 6 tonight. All right. So to reiterate, we do have a severe thunderstorm warning right here for central and northwestern sections of Oneida County until 5:45. The National Weather Service believes there's that potential here for these storms to have damaging wind gusts. That's the straight line wind damage. where it's like winds aloft. I can demonstrate that for you. High winds, high winds, high winds way up here. And then you have in storms, you've got updrafts and you've got downdrafts. The downdraft can take the high winds aloft and bring it down the surface and spread it out. And that's what can snap a tree branch, uproot a tree, knock over a power line, maybe knock out some power in some areas. So that's straight line damaging wind gust potential, and also potential for hail the size of a quarter. This is roughly the size of a quarter, I guess. 1 inch diameter hail, and that can sort of do damage to maybe windows. I know that it could be car windows. It could be windows at your house or apartment, or maybe a trailer, anything really with glass could potentially have some damage because of the hailstones like that. Emergency management is saying that they expect potentially hail damage to vehicles. So I just mentioned that. Wind damage also could occur for roofs, siding, trees, and some locations here. Again, if you can't see this on your phone, I'll read off some towns and villages for you on the report here from the Weather Service and also on our map. Locations that may be impacted here from a storm: Rome, Lee, Vienna, Floyd, Camden, Oriskany, Sylvan Beach, Blossville, New London, and Delta Lake. There's also potential here just for continuous ground to cloud lightning or cloud to ground lightning. That means it could be certainly causing trees to be hit by lightning, and you don't want to be outside, of course, rolling the dice on that. When thunder roars, you got to head indoors and let somebody know if they're out that they got to get inside now. Lightning is one of nature's leading killers. If you can hear thunder, you are close enough to be struck by lightning. That's some good information there. All right, some other towns I didn't mention here. East Verona, just north of Agnes Corners. Glenmore, Elpis, Jewel there, as well as north of Verona Beach right there. And also north of Verona, north of Lowell here. Here's a throughway, by the way, as a reference point in the bottom of your screen, bottom of this screen anyways. And the storms are kind of moving off to the east at roughly 40 miles per hour. So let's look at the radar, and we'll put that storm track on there once again, kind of give you an idea of what's happening with the storms. I have triple Doppler, live triple Doppler, superimposed on top of the visible satellite picture here. And I actually like the way this looks because this tells you that there's sun out in some areas, south and east of Syracuse right here, while other areas are getting pounded with downpouring rain, thunder, lightning, and some gusty winds and hail. So a variety of weather here, and kind of just randomly popping up storms by Binghamton, Syracuse, Rochester, but some sun out in between. And that can certainly happen. Changeable weather conditions all in one day. All right, we're zooming in again to the city of Syracuse, northern Onondaga County. It's currently 5:19 here. It looks like it did an auto update for me here, which is awesome. I didn't have to redraw this and reposition the expected time of arrival box. So here we go. 5:23 in DeWitt, 5:28 Green Lake State Park, 5:30 in Fayetteville, 5:37 when storms are expected to come through Manlius, 5:43 in Rome, 5:46 at Griffiths Air Base, and 5:56 in the Vernon area here. So if you are east and south of Syracuse now and you're saying storms, what storms? It's sunny out. Yeah, you're right. It is sunny out. That's why I put the visible satellite picture here to show you you are correct. But there are storms in the distance, and you may be able to hear that thunder in the distance too. Pivoting back over to Oneida County, which this one has also done an auto update on the storm track, which is great. I'm actually going to take this off just for a moment so you can see what the storm is currently. All right. I'm going to zoom in a little bit more. Okay. So as a reference point, here is Rome. Okay. Here's Western, Canterbury Hill, East Verona, Blossville getting pounded right now with heavy rain. Look at these pink dots. If you see pink on the radar, look at the key, not the mix ice key. It's wintertime. But the pink is the highest on the color scale there for rain. And that usually means there's probably hail going on. So I do agree with the National Weather Service for that potential of hail with these storms. If you're watching us right now on your phone in, say, East Verona, Lee, right along Route 49, Route 69 here, west to east, there could be some hail trying to come through your area on top of heavy pouring rain, thunder, and lightning. And I also want to indicate, I'll actually draw it with my telestrator. I can pop that up right here, that there is a bowing effect going on. And when there's a bow in the radar echo like this, okay, that usually means that the winds, I'll demonstrate it again, the straight line winds up high, you got updrafts, you got downdrafts in the storm. The downdraft is trying to pull down maybe some of that high wind aloft. And as it does so, it pushes the wind out ahead of itself and can bend the line of the storms all together and create this curvature like that. And that could tell me that Vienna, Blossville, Ansville, Lee, you could also be in the path of some straight line damaging wind gusts. That can cause tree branch damage. It can cause trees to become uprooted in extreme cases, power lines to be disrupted, power poles, utility poles to be knocked over, and possibly even cause some power outages. So that is what we have going on with this storm right now. Although the threat for hail doesn't look as bad as it did like moments ago, like 5-10 minutes ago. It had like a huge bullseye of pink right here, right there, just west of Blossville. Looks like it's been kind of weakened slightly. Okay, so we're going to go back over to the radar here. And I just want you to see that where we do have that sun out between Syracuse, Utica, and Norwich, that tells me it's almost like full blue sky. As this line of storms kind of comes through, they should be able to hold together. If this was cloudy in here, right, if it was shielded from heating of the sun, I could see these storms really dropping off in intensity and weakening pretty quickly. But notice there are a couple more up by Rochester and Batavia. There could still be a few more pivoting through tonight. Let me show you the big picture here because I'm getting this ready for our 6 p.m. news to describe what's going to happen later on tonight and tomorrow. And, you know, while today we were in the mid 60s, 76 at least, maybe 77, there's a potential to be even cooler tomorrow than that, which would actually be closer to room temperature, but still cool enough to keep some instability going and some lake effect going and lake enhanced showers going. All right. So here is the setup with a how wide behind our weather. Big upper level low just sitting around spinning. Not a tropical system. It's not Debbie's leftovers. Debbie's long gone. What this low is doing, it's called a stacked low. So you got low pressure at the surface, mid levels, and aloft. And it just kind of sits on its own, nothing really moving it. But see these yellow dash lines here, here, and here? Think of it on a bicycle. You got spokes, right? That connect the tire and the wheel on the outside to the inside. And these little waves around it are pulses of lift, rising motion, a little bit of wind convergence here. The winds converge and the air is forced up. So that, combined with cool air, can cause some of these downpours and storms right now. And also, as the low slides to the east, we're going to get that cool air crossing Lake Superior, Lake Huron, eventually Lake Ontario. So general rain will be, the volume will be turned up by Mother Nature. And that's called lake enhancement, a boost from the instability over Lake Ontario to existing general rain in the atmosphere, general showers. And finally, when it's purely like late tonight, tomorrow morning, it could be pure lake effect rain. Think about being in a hot tub, right? You're sitting in the hot tub, you got the water vapor above your head, maybe there's no wind. It just sits there. But if you put like one of those rotating fans next to the hot tub like this, or just position it at your face or at my head, and it blows the water vapor away, well, somewhere over there, they're going to get the water vapor, and it could be clouds. It could be, you know, an example of lake effect precipitation in the form of rain. And that's exactly what's happening in the atmosphere. Lake Ontario is like a big hot tub, relatively speaking, to the air aloft. Temperatures of the lake are in the 70s, but aloft temperatures are much, much colder. And we could be finding some lake effect rain bands into tomorrow morning, even close to Syracuse. So just a quick update on that. We'll go back over to the radar here. Let's see. Again, just to reiterate here, the warning is in effect here. Looks like they've chopped off part of it here. So the western side of Oneida County, and the warning has been chopped off here by the National Weather Service. So it looks like it's from Vienna to Lee to East Verona, western down to Rome, and then further to the east here over towards, say, Florence. Well, that's great news. At least the storm is kind of moving in this general direction, and we're still tracking it for you here. Let me show you what it looks like with a wide view, and then we'll kind of go back into the Syracuse area. I kind of want to update this look. Let's get rid of this. Okay. So we do have the radar up here superimposed on top of the visible satellite picture. Here's Syracuse, okay? I am noticing a flare up of rain and storms out by Auburn right now. There's some pretty deep reds. That tells me there's probably some wind energy maybe associated with that. At this time, as you just saw on the warning map, there is no severe thunderstorm warning in effect for Cayuga or Onondaga County. That could change any moment. I'm actually kind of glad we're on still doing this right now, because if there is a warning popping up, I'm going to check the warning map here in another minute, kind of every few minutes. I'm going to give you new information in real time right here as you're watching me on your phone. So in case you're watching us right now in Skaneateles, Owasco, Borodino, Griffin's Corners, Camillus, Atisco, Tully, Pompey, Manlius, everywhere in the zone where the sun is still out, you are at risk for some stronger storms coming through, at least with heavy pouring rain, at least with some gusts of wind, thunder, lightning, maybe very, very tiny hail. But I wouldn't be surprised if they do put out a warning in the next, say, 15 to 20 minutes if the storms continue to strengthen, okay? So we'll do, for now, even without a warning in effect, I'd like to put a storm track on these storms in this area. Start up by Bridgeport, and we'll kind of come down here. And in general today, the storms have been moving off the east at roughly about 40 miles per hour. So we'll kind of take that as face value for the moment, all right? Some towns and villages to be impacted here by this batch of rain and storms. 529 Green Lake State Park, Manlius at 535. Sullivan around 539. Canastota 544. Oneida further off the east 551. Cas 605. Westmoreland at 609. Utica 622. And what I'm going to do too is redo this a little bit. And maybe zoom a little bit. Here we go. Do this. Okay. So more into Onondaga County with a batch of rainstorms out by Auburn right now. We have Marcellus at 528, Niles at 534, Onondaga at 539, Nedrow 544, Jamesville Beach 549, Lafayette there at 552, Manlius 555, Berwyn at 6 o'clock, Fabia 608, Cazenovia 609. So if you're watching us, again, these storms are not considered to be severe. I would say they're probably borderline strong. Definitely some heavy rainfall maybe interrupting your evening. You're thinking about having dinner outside. Be aware, storms are off to the west. Okay. Head back over to Oneida County here. I'm just going to take this off for a minute. And let's see, we do have some pinks back in town on the northwest side of Rome. Okay, so here's the areas that are nearby. Lee looks like it's kind of just leaving your area, but more pinks have developed here. That means there's that potential for some hail going on. And I wouldn't be surprised the hail reports come in later tonight for the late news. We'll be sharing those with you if I don't get them in time for the 6 o'clock news for us to share and let you know if this area verified the pinks for where the hail did occur. Canterbury Hill, Western, Steuben, Floyd, Holland, Pat, Remsen. If this storm were to hold together, it could cross over and affect your area here in the next 15 to 20, maybe 30 minutes. Let me put a storm track on this cell and kind of help illustrate that expected time of arrival. Okay. All right, East Verona, 529. Elmer Hill at 531. Rome, 536. You're watching us in Rome, I understand. You've also seen the damage earlier, weeks ago, with a tornado. This is not at this time a tornado warning. This is just straight line wind potential. So maybe some trees or power lines could be impacted, but I really think this cell really shows the potential there for hail. So hailstones may be more of a threat than actual wind damage, but both are still potential. Big Brook at 539, Griffiths Airfield at 539, Steuben 542, Floyd 545, Remsen 549, Prospect at 552, Trenton 552. So if you've never experienced a hailstorm, let me tell you, you don't want to, because it can cause damage. It can break glass. It can damage your car. It can also damage people you know, even yourself, if you're outside and caught in this storm. I'm just going to take a look here and just see if there are any other reports, maybe some damage I can pass along while we are still streaming here, and do appreciate that. We have about 320 people here at 5:30 on Sunday. So let's take a look what I do have. Okay. I do have some information to pass along about the storm cell that is out into sections of or approaching the western side of Onondaga County right now. Okay, so right here. Okay. So first I'll just kind of circle this area. I'm going to put some arrows on it. Okay. So we do have what's called for this storm a special weather statement. It basically means a tap on the shoulder, a heads up, not a warning, but this batch of rain and storms out by Auburn right now approaching Skaneateles and Elbridge. Some information to pass along to you from the National Weather Service. At 5:17, Doppler radar did indicate a strong storm over Throopsville or over Auburn, moving east at 45 miles per hour. Potential wind gusts up to 40 miles per hour with this storm. Half of an inch size hail or half of an inch diameter size hail. Gusty winds could knock down tree limbs, blow around unsecured objects like garbage cans, recycle bins, anything else outside, and minor hail damage to vegetation is possible. Impacted locations: Auburn, Senate, Skaneateles, Marcellus, Jordan, Port Byron, Camillus, Elbridge, Cayuga, and Melrose Park. If you know anybody outside in those towns, villages, text them, call them. Probably a call more than a text if they can see that faster, respond faster, and tell them to get inside because there's a lot of lightning going on right there. Elbridge, Brutus, Auburn, Skaneateles, also near Camillus area. So those storms, while not severe, still may be strong enough to add a little bit of an interruption to the afternoon, early evening here. Okay, I mentioned maybe looking at maybe some damage reports. And let me take a look there. Okay. I should probably just pull up the map here for the storm reports. Looks like there are a few. Let's take a look. Let's see here. I'll clear up this screen banner, and then we'll take a look at what we got. Okay, so if I widen out this view, we'll take a look and see around the area who has gotten some reports of any kind of damage so far today. So up into Wayne County, northern Cayuga County right here, looks like there are some reports, and we are looking at these here. Looks like mostly tree damage reports here near and southeast of Hannibal, east of Fairhaven, just in some parts of eastern, northeastern Wayne County. And I'll pan over here. Most recently, it looks like trees and wires down in the Camden area, as storms have just left there. And let's see. Hannibal area, trees and wires down on James Road in Hannibal. Sterling, trees and wires down there. Red Creek, trees and wires down Red Creek at 422. And Wolcott, trees and wires down in that area as well. So that's what's happening with storm reports. I'll try to have some more for the news as we go on tonight. But to kind of summarize here, we still have this warning in effect for parts of Oneida County until 5:45, another 10 minutes here. And I'm going to look at the radar there, pull this off so you can kind of see. Nothing super organized, but still nonetheless here on the north side of Rome, up towards the Lake Delta and Canterbury Hill, there may still be that potential for some hail going on there. All right, I'm going to wrap up for now. We're going to get ready for the news at 6. Hopefully you can watch us here. You can also live stream the news at 6 right here on your phone. If you use our CNY Central mobile news app, CNYCentral.com. Of course, you can watch us on TV, however you watch your local news. And we'll have more, of course, tonight on CW6 News at 10 and NBC3, CBS 5 News at 11. Thanks for watching us tonight. And hopefully this was some useful and important information for you to take on. And we'll talk to you soon. Thank you.